Welcome everyone to the POP Climate Leadership Conversations and a tribute to our chief mentor. This project aims to explore tactics and empower the youth to take action to tackle the most pressing environmental issues faced globally. We are conducting a series of conversations on leadership strategies, recommendations, reflections, and examples, each focused on a different issue and focused on global leadership. This initiative is designed and implemented as a tribute to our chief mentor, late Dr. R.K. Pachari. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with one of our chief mentors, Dr. Norma Patricia Munoz, about leadership in solving the climate crisis from both academia and the government. Before we start with the questions, I will go ahead and read the speaker's bio so that everyone who's listening in can learn a little bit more about Dr. Norma, who's joining us today. Dr. Norma studied biology at the National School of Biological Sciences of the National Polytechnic Institute in Mexico. She graduated in 1982 and obtained her doctorate in Biological Oceanography in France and a post-doctorate in marine biochemistry at the École Pratique de Hautes Études in Paris in 1990. She's a member of the National System of Researchers Level 1. Dr. Norma has been the advisor of the Secretariat of the Environment and Natural Resources for Mexico in matters of oceans and coasts for more than 10 years. Natural organizations, the United Nations Environmental Program, the United Nations, and the United Nations Environment Program, UNIDO, for marine planning, and integrated coastal management and capacity building in Latin America and in the coastal zone, governance of the Gulf of Mexico, coastal continental water, and public policies, among others. She has received over 40 awards for her professional performance, including a distinction from the American Biological Institute as a great woman of the 21st century in the area of sustainable development. The Order of the Academic Palms in the degree of Knight. The decoration was awarded to her by the government of the French Republic in 2011, and she received an honorable mention in the doctorate of Biological Oceanography at the University of Aix-Marseille in France. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. A Diploma of Honor was awarded by the University of Los Andes, Venezuela, for her outstanding academic career, and she was recognized by the Polytechnic Women Leaders of 2022. So we are very, very excited to have you here, Dr. Norma. It's a great pleasure to be in a call with you now as interviewing you and learning more about your career and your path and having this opportunity to learn even more from you. So my first question for you would be, what does leadership mean to you?
I'm ready. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much for the presentation, and it's an honor to be here with you. And yeah, of course, to choose me for this conversation that I'm very happy to have with all of you, colleagues, friends, and family. Okay. Well, I think that it's a very difficult question. I heard a lot about that. And normally when somebody speaks about a leader, the first thing that comes to the mind of people is a leader born or a leader become with the time. Sometimes people, the answer say, or no, this person born as a leader. I'm not really sure. For me, leadership means to be able to express in different ways the love for the work we do every day, day by day. And what we can do with that to inspire other people, just to inspire, invite, to do something together. And this we can do it, of course, with the work that we do, but through knowledge first. Second, education. Positive things, thinking, no, how you think, you're positive in your thinking or not. Also, with your attitudes toward life, that is very important. Passion in what you do, talking to people constantly at all levels, with all people that you meet in the street, in your job, in the school, at the university. Honesty, ethics, and particularly what I say always in my house to my students and with my friends, example. You cannot ask to anybody to do something that you don't do yourself in your daily life. I cannot ask to my students to be honest if I don't show that I'm doing in my work, in my teaching with them, the research what we are doing. I need to express that you need to be really a good person. To my kids at home, exactly the same. How I can ask to don't do anything that is wrong, something that is wrong. If I do it, I drink, I smoke, I'm not ever at home. I cannot ask them to do right things. And of course, to the rest of the people where you cross every day, you need to help them, because sometimes we face people without any education because they didn't have the opportunity to study, because they were in certain situations that they didn't study. Then if you do all together, I think that you are able to promote the well-being of humanity. And of course, you need to respect and care nature, to respect all forms of life, and have personal and collectivity activities. We need to work together. Isolated, nobody can do a big thing. Why? Because the society needs to work together. Why? To contribute to global improvement that is essential to work, or this work is essential for somebody that we can name a leader. If that means to be a leader, well, I agree. Work is mainly, I can say that I am very good in many fields, but I need to show with my work. And my work is that I just express. Thank you, Kamal. I hope that I answer your question in that way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Norma. I completely agree. I like how you added the importance of interconnectivity and really leading by example, and not just saying what you want to happen or how you want people to maybe behave or what to do if you're not doing it yourself. I think that's a great thing to add. And for question number 2, I would love to pass it over to Vishnu, who will be asking.
Hello, Dr. Norma. Buenos
Hi,
dias.
Vishnu. Buenos dias, Vishnu. How are you?
I'm good. So my question is what have been some of the biggest lesson, opportunities, and challenge of working on the climate change?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vishnu. Well, for me, the lessons can be that education, because I am in the field of education since more than 40 years ago, is the fundamental basis for the development of people. If you want to keep a people not participating in anything, to don't get any information, any position about what is going on in the world, you need to keep them without education. For me, education is the main lesson that I have in my life. We need to have communication at all levels. We were talking this week, as you know, and I told you, we have the lead week, and the lead is a program in Mexico from the Colegio de Mexico, where they have sustainability as a program in the whole world, and they call it the LEAD program. Well, we were talking about communication, and we were talking also with Dr. Ash and Dr. Azarosh about the communication. We need to do something else. We need to go further with communication, because people need to know. We were facing, all of you were in Cancun sometimes with a project, and you heard about the complaint of the people. Nobody tells us anything. We don't know anything about sargassum. Why it's so dangerous, and we don't know anything. Then for us, communication is very important, and particularly talking about climate change, causes and consequences, that will allow people to understand how it's going on in the planet. Why it's so hot? Why sometimes so cold? Why it's raining now like a very heavy rain? Yesterday we had in Mexico, I don't know in your area, but since the afternoon, the whole night, and it was really storm. Rivers of water were coming out from in Satellite where I live. Then it's very important communication, and that is one of the lessons that I have very good in my life. I understand very good. And that will allow people to recognize something that is very important in these issues. You need to accept, or we need to accept, that we are part of the problem. The problem of climate change and global warming is something that our behavior, way of life, is provoking around the world, and we need to understand that. I need to understand that I am a part of the problem to be a part of the solution. That is the lesson, the main lesson. The opportunities, well, you have a lot of opportunities if you want to really work in a good way. What I think that in my life has been a very beautiful opportunity is to work with POP. I was used to work in the Polytechnic with my students doing research. And I heard the NGOs and the people who is on some societies or some groups working with this and with that. And to have the opportunity to know the work that Dr. Archipachori was doing together with Ash, for me was to discover another world where you can really work together. You can do something else than only teaching. And when I say only teaching, is because from the theory to the practice, you have a big world in between. And that world was open, at least for me, as an opportunity to collaborate with POP, with the POP movement. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Professor, to be our family, because I am very proud to work with you. And the challenge for me, still being a challenge, is how to convince the decision makers, to go in reality to take actions against climate change. And that is the government. The lack of will, political will, with the government is a main issue until our days, at least in Mexico, and as far as I know, in many other countries, because in the COP, you can see how people is talking and how documents they are bringing to read and to propose. And in reality, in their countries, they don't act. They don't do anything. And that is a political will, a lack of political will, and continues to be a challenge in my country. Thank you, Vishnu. It's okay for you?
Yes, thank you so much. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Norma. The next question will be asked by Sam.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Norma. I really enjoyed how you answered the question. And I would like to ask, how can academia increase its leadership during this climate crisis? And then what is needed for that leadership to promote further? So I don't know if that question was clear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sam, for your question. Well, listen, at least in Mexico and other countries where I made studies about the impact of universities in climate change and decision makers. And I think the academia in Mexico should be more intensive in climate change topics, in climate change, not only as a research, but even teaching. Because why? In Mexico, we don't have a PhD in climate change. We don't have a master's degree in climate change. We have in one of the universities here in Mexico City, the degree of bachelor in climate change, but the way that they are teaching is not so well. I don't like it. And to improve the academia, you need to make really a good program of climate change, global warming, and give skills to young people, because in that way, you can inspire that people, you can push the people to go into this topic. Maybe, I don't say that it's too late. Never is too late to do something, but we have like Dr. Ash is telling us all the time, a very small window of opportunity, and to prepare people with the skills in climate change is very difficult in a short time. But to improve the leadership in youth, I think that we need to face some schools in my institution, I mean, where people is doing something, doing projects in energy, in environmental topics, even in teaching, how they teach now. And that is very important because young people can help to improve this leadership, because adults is very difficult. Socialize and adults, anthropologically talking, is very difficult. But young people, they are very, very open to change. They have open mind. They want to work. They want to do things. They want to act, not only talk. Most of my colleagues, they have a talk and a talk. And I know very few of my colleagues are working together with an NGO, with an OCS, OCC, something like that. And I think that we need to work with young people. That's why we are a little older for young people, but working together with you, because that is an example that we need to put on your hands to go further with this leadership that you are, of course, very open to that. I think the sun is gone. He lost connectivity, but if you want, we can go ahead and we wait until he has some reaction. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Dr. Norma. Yeah, when Sam gets his connectivity back. Oh, there he is. Sam, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I really appreciate what you said, about how you don't really appreciate the level of academic interest being put in climate change, especially looking at further studies into the climate crisis. But I would also like to ask, in your own perspective, what action, what ingredients do you think is needed to push this further? What do you think academias, I know you talked about they need to start putting more concrete actions, examples and all, but right now, you are into academia and you are doing a lot of things when it comes to the space of the oceans, okay? So apart from those areas, what do you think, and what examples as well do you think academia need to take into consideration to be able to push the leadership of climate action with students out there?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that we need to keep our eyes open. We need to look at people. We need to assist to youth congress, because they organize here in my institution. You need to take a look who is doing what and who is talking in the way that you can say, I invite you to be a part of this NGO, this civil society that is POP. And we have students, and the example is that yesterday, Dr. Adriana Fernandez sent me a message. Do you know people at IPN with NGOs or with groups with climate action? I said, yes, I know. I know in one of the faculties in energy, they are students from engineering on energy, and also in biotechnology school, they have an NGO since 11 years ago, and they are working very beautiful. That is the way that you need to invite the people. You need to know where they are, what they do, but you need to work also with them, You need to go, you need to assist to the organization, the congress that they organize every year, and to know exactly what they are doing. Your own students. I have students from PhD program or master degree. They are working with the Tren Maya in Yucatan. They are working with the sargassum in Quintana Roo. Others are working with fracking, also that is a very controversial topic. And you need to invite them not to only do a thesis, but go further, do something else, action, and to be involved in the program where you can spread your knowledge, when you can take actions. And I think that this is the space is provided by POP. Today, We are not the ones, we are not an organization taking, the paper that we want to be climate changes. The government is not doing anything and so on. Because, you are not winner in anything to shout, to make manifestations on the street, to close schools and so on. You need to prove that you are able to do something else than only say everything is wrong. You need to be part of the solution. You need to give solutions, and that is the space that POP offered to us and to you as a youth. That's my advice and my work. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you so much, Dr. Norma. That was a great answer to Sam's great question. I really like how he elaborated, and we got to dive in a little deeper on what is going on at IPN and how the students are organizing to really promote climate action. For the next question, I would like to hand it over to Alejandra Fragoso, who will be taking.
Hello. Well, my question is, what have been some lesson and challenge from working with the government? And also, what is needed to further promote climate action in this sector?
Thank you, Ale. Thank you for your question. Looks like a difficult question. In reality, is not. I have been working with the government since many years ago as a researcher, as a professor, as a member of the Council for Sustainability, as a program of UNEP, Semarnat, that is the Ministry of Environment, where I was a national member more than 9 years, working with them. We did a lot of things. And those are, as you know, ministries from the federal government, and also with United Nations, working together. But the problem is that you can do the best work, you can propose the best programs, you can design beautiful answer to our problems as a country in environmental topics. But the problem is, like I said before, to push the government to take actions or to make public policies regarding the work that you are doing as a researcher is very difficult. The government needs to be convinced first, and you know that in this administration, for the main person in this administration, the climate change doesn't exist. It's something that we say that is there because we need to stabilize his administration. Then when you deny something that you are looking with your eyes, you are feeling with your body, and you are knowing with the research that we are doing exists, it's very difficult. It's so difficult to work with this kind of government. And that is a big problem. I work with them since many years ago. I produced the public policy for oceans and coast from Mexico. And the policy was finished and was approved in 2011, and nothing happened until 2018. In 2018, it was in the Federal Office Journal, and from 2018 until now, our days, we're still discussing a law for coastal administration. And the law doesn't appear in the official diary of Mexico. That is a big problem, because you can go to the Senate every week, you can discuss everything about the law, the coastal law, and we don't have. And if you don't have this kind of juridic instrument, you cannot do anything with the public policy. The national program of what to deal with the coastal and seas from Mexico is not working, because you don't have any juridic law that can be the way to apply this public policy. then to deal with the government is so difficult. Really, we need to change. It's not a matter of convince people, because even what is going on in Yucatan Peninsula is a disaster and nothing is happening. We are taking a lot of actions, really a lot of actions. And what we see, they put dynamite now in the peninsula. Yeah, because they need a rock that is in the peninsula to support the rails of the train. And that is really is so incredible, really incredible, that I cannot really realize what is going on in the peninsula now with that situation. Then Ale is difficult. It's not impossible. The Ministry of Environment is like doesn't exist because you don't hear anything about it. We are in a difficult situation, environmental talking, and we need to work. There's no other way to work and to try to convince with everything, because even sargassum doesn't exist. That is not a problem. It's a little like yeah, you know, they call it zacate in Spanish, no? Because somebody from the Navy said that it was not sargassum, it was a zacate. Imagine, on the coast. Then it's very difficult, really very difficult. But like I said, we're still working. We need to work, and we need to convince, and we need to work very, very hard to try to understand the people who need to take the decision. That is a government, that is a public policy, what the government wants to do or not to do. That is in the very strict sense, what a public policy means. And the government doesn't want to do anything. Then you can write down a public policy and it's not working. Thank you, Ale. We can talk too much about this, and I hope that we will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Norma. You always be an inspiration, and you have total reason. We must take action, and also we must do it. It's an honor for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ale.
Thank you so much, Ale, for that question, and thank you, Dr. Norma. I completely agree. We can put things in paper, but taking them to action is sometimes where the government gets stuck, and that's really the crucial part of making a difference. So thank you for bringing that up, and it's so sad to see that so many denial has been going on with different environmental issues, as you say, sargasso, climate change, and it's really sad to see how we're living the consequences and we're not taking immediate action.
Exactly.
And for the final question, I would love to hand it over to Ivan, who will be asking question number 5.
Thank you so much, Ana, and it's an honor for me to be here with you. So, Doctora, what are some of the tactics that you have seen inspire youth activists the most? And how can we implement them further?
You know, Ivan, I think that better than you, all of you, because Ana was in Cancun, Vishnu was in Cancun, you were also in Cancun. What I think really to inspire more to the youth activists, the young activists, is to face them to the real problems, to put it in the work. The field work is very important. You can give the best instruction, the best education at the university, the college, the high school, whatever, and to tell them. But if you don't face them to the problems, to see what is going on, nobody told me. I was watching the problem. I was seeing people getting ill, you know, the case that you know very well, really well. And also Ana, because Ana didn't go for the sargassum, but he went at the beginning of the sargassum. He was with me, with us, and with Vanessa. We were Vanessa, Nahid, Ana. We were working also, and she went to the Cozumel Island. And she could see also the problem because she was diving. Then you can see the problems and you can know the problem. Nobody will tell you what is going on. Then That is the way to inspire people to go further, to go and to be a young activist. To become an activist can be somebody that really wants to do something, but when you see the problem in front of you, you get this emotion, I think, to say, I can do something, I want to do something, what I can do, what I need to do it. And I think that is the way to inspire people. The example because if I go to Cancun and I see taking, I don't know, drinking water or Coke and everybody's working, I am sitting. That is the kind of example that I say is not working with the people. Whatever is young people, whatever are colleagues, you need to put the example. And that is something. Face youth to the real problems. If you need to go to the mountains, you go to the mountains. You need to go to the sea, you go to the sea. If you need to go to dive in the coral reef that they are telling you now that 35% of the coral reef, the Mesoamerican coral reef in Quintana Roo is there, you need to take a look if it's true. Because sometimes they say, no, fake news. But if you go, I'm sure that you will do something for that coral reef. I'm sure. Then that is the most beautiful thing. In Africa that we have now, this program of reforestation. That is an example that Anna got last year. Was last year, Anna, you went for a reforestation program with people from POP, some of our colleagues. Was last year, Anna is frozen. But anyway, the program that we have now working with Malawi, with Zambia, with India, that is very important because people is knowing.
So I've done reforestation.
Yeah, don't worry. I will give you the word, the floor. That is what I think is very important for everyone, to be in the field, to know that I need to have a program of reforestation because my country is too dry now. I cannot get any more crops because water is gone. Then we need mainly face people, bring people to the field, and that will be very good. That is my experience. A biologist cannot be always in the classroom. They need to go out to take a look at this going out. Thank you, Ilan.
And speaking about leading with example, I have witnessed that when we went to Cancun. Actually, you were working so hard, and you were teaching us also so many things about the place. It's not only like working and witnessing like the problems, but also learning how to do things, and from someone that is more experienced than you, then they can teach you and also give you hope that things can be different. Yeah. And yeah, I can speak from my own experience. You are an amazing leader, and specifically in the sargassum environment that you are mentioning now, and that is so important and so not so well spoken in Mexico, at least. There are so many things to be done, but I can also say that you are particularly doing so many things about that for people in the communities and for the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for your thoughts and comments. Well, you're right, the way that we need to do it, working together with people. And like I said, local actions, collective actions, and that we will bring us to try at least very hard to change this world and to give a better world for you. We are going now, maybe, but you will stay here, and you deserve working very hard as you are doing. You deserve to have a better world. Thank you so much. Thank you for this conversation that was very good for you and also for me, because like I said, every day we learn something from each other. It's a daily basis, learning and learning. Thank you. Thank you all.
I completely agree with what Ivan was saying, that I think it's amazing to have such a clear and a clear example of leadership here with us today with this conversation with Dr. Norma. And all of us here have had the amazing opportunity to work closely with her, as you were mentioning, in Cancun, or maybe via online on different projects. And it's really amazing to have the chance to learn from you, not only because of how much you know about the environment and environmental protection and everything you've accomplished, but also learning from your work ethic and really your values, and just the way that you have really made an incredible effort to make a difference from academia, from the government, and from all of these different aspects. So I was really excited to have this conversation here with you and really have the chance to talk deeper about your opinion on different topics. And as Ivan said, it's really inspiring to have you here, and I think the work you're doing really inspires youth activism within and outside of IPN. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Komal. Thank you, Ivan, Dr. Ash, and Ale, and Sam. Thank you so very much for Vishnu, for your presence and to have this talk. And I hope that we can continue to work together for many, many years. And please think that you have a friend in my person. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Norma. I see a lot of hearts. That I love that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, this was great. Talk to you soon. And thank you everyone for joining.
See you soon.